Hey everyone, it's Yvonne Iglesias here from the Eating Disorder Recovery Hub. Welcome, and don't forget to subscribe to our Facebook page so you can get notifications of when I'm going live and any events that we put on so that you can be part of them. So the title of this live might seem a little weird, right? How do I lose weight? How do I eat normal? And I've said these are the wrong conversations to be having. Now, I'm bringing this up because I am getting crazy numbers of private messages, comments about really wanting to lose weight. I'm just focused on my numbers. I want to eat normal. And this is questions I'm getting asked are about these things. How do I eat normal? How do I lose weight? Now, if that's your focus, it's very hard for recovery to be your focus too, right? You cannot be focused on the numbers and losing weight and how to eat normal if recovery is what you're really after. What do I mean by this? If you're looking to really recover, now I'm talking about beyond just the symptom relief, beyond stopping the behaviors, because a lot of people look to get their weight to a certain point and think they'll be better when that's the case. Don't get me wrong, I thought the same shit. Believe me, I thought that if I just got to the magic number that I kept in my head, it kept changing, by the way, because that's what you do. But when I thought, when I get to that number, when I get to this pair of jeans that I really want to wear, then I will be fine. Now, you are fooling yourself if this is what you're thinking, because I did the same thing. So what I'm trying to do here in these lives and in this community is to help you save time. But you have to be willing to be open to hearing that. If you're going to be messaging me about how do I lose weight and do it in a way that, doesn't flare up my eating disorder, there isn't a way, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I have actually worked with people that have gone and had surgery, which was part of what they needed to do or what they decided to do, and part of their focus was weight loss. That's different to just focusing on weight loss itself. We were also focusing on their emotional healing, right? Emotional healing. You need to do that, guys. You need to be able to deal with your emotions and deal with relationships to be able to then nourish your body the way it needs to be. If you're still focusing on how do I eat normal, the very fact that you have an eating disorder means you can't do that. And like I've said to other people, normal, what is that? Normal in Greece is different to normal in Japan, is different to normal in Australia. Normal eating is what your body needs. It's not a set, and I know there's guidelines with every government organization, with, governing bodies that say we recommend this and dietetics that say we recommend this. You will get recommendations from everywhere. The reality is, if you struggle with eating disorders, right? If you are someone who struggles with whatever one it is, anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, orthorexia, whatever else it is, if you're asking me about how to lose weight and still want to be recovery focused, I think that you need to really evaluate how serious are you about wanting to be free of this thing. The second you're chasing a number or being a certain size, you can pretty much guess that the eating disorder is already alive and kicking. It is what is filling your mind, filling your days. And to really get recovery, you have to know that that's going to be a battle. That's going to be something that you're going to struggle with, right? You will want to keep losing weight, but you need a supportive team. You need to be in our community. You need to be knowing that there's more to it than that. There is more to it than just following a meal plan, because that won't give you recovery. I can't even tell you the number of comments across our page where people are saying, I thought I had recovered, but then this happened and the eating disorder came back, or I used to struggle with anorexia and then the bulimia kicked in, right? And most of the time, it's not really about relapsing. It's about getting to a certain level of recovery, and people think that's it, that you're done. I did the same thing. So I'm not sitting here going, guys, you're getting it all wrong. I did the same shit. But what I'm trying to say to you is, I want to help you save time, because An eating disorder took 14 years of my life, right? And I don't look at my teens or my early 20s and say, God, I love those years. I don't love those years because they were consumed with eating disorder obsessions, hating my body, hating how I looked. So I don't have a love for looking back on my life, you know, pre the eating, like while the eating disorder was around. So if you're serious about recovery, then this page is seriously for you, because I am going to be continuously telling you how I did it, how I'm helping other people do it, but I don't look at just getting you symptom relief, right? So that doesn't mean, look, you're going to be a certain weight and then you're in the healthy weight, so you're no longer got anorexia, or the eating disorder, like the binging and purging, might stop. And so then you feel like you're better, but then you take off and within a few, weeks, months, whatever it is, you start relapsing. The thing is, you will want to take off in recovery. You will want to walk away from your treatment, from support too early. I did it several times. And I keep saying to the people I'm mentoring, clients I'm working with, guys, the biggest thing that if you can stay with your therapy or stay with your treatment or even stay on this page and work through all the confronting stuff that I might be saying, then you may be getting to recovery. Now, Cecilia, you say, I feel that looking back on those years and pictures is hard. Absolutely. Having an eating disorder is fucked. Like, seriously, it's not fun at all. People that think it's a choice don't have any idea how torturous it is to have one, right? But don't come onto this page because I'm seriously recovery focused. I'm recovery focused for all of you guys to help you save time in your distress, time in the eating disorder, because the sooner we help women and men, but as soon as we help anyone struggling with an eating disorder to get out and through it and be living the life they're meant to, then I think this world will change dramatically. Too many people are focused on what they look like, on how to get the dream body that, the woman on the people on the magazines, mostly women, in those prevention magazines, in Oxygen, in all the women who are put in there that are, yes, photoshopped, but if we're going to stay as a community obsessed with what we look like, right, you can't expect yourself to be able to recover from an eating disorder. And anyway, if you're thinking that the eating disorder is just about being a certain size, you're missing the point, seriously missing the point. And that's what shits me, absolutely pisses me off about seeing posts and seeing people talk about it's about the media, and if the media pulled back, then we'd be a hell of a lot better. Sure, they have an impact, but eating disorders are seriously complex. You're usually seriously distressed, right? You don't know how to deal with intense feelings. That's not just about how you look. My good friend, Dr. Anita Johnson, she calls it the red herring. We get so focused on our body, we get focused on our weight, and it means we don't get to look at the real stuff that is causing us distress, that is basically manifesting an eating disorder in our life. So Cecilia says, I've been recovered, but I think about it every day. Demi Lovato said, I will always be in recovery. There's no such thing as recovered. It will always be an effort. And I really try to believe that. Cecilia, my personal opinion is that that's not the case, okay? It does take seriously a lot of emotional and intense work where you can be free of this, where it doesn't fill your every mind. And it takes a while, because you seriously do think this is going to be it for all of my life. All I'm going to do is obsess about food. I'm going to be obsessed about how I feel about my body, how I hate myself. And a lot of people stay in that space where they think it is, you're always in recovery, right? That you are never going to be recovered. For some people, that is true, okay? But we also have to know that full permanent recovery is possible. And I've talked about this a lot with my dear friend Anita Johnson, and I've said to her, I feel like it's possible because I'm living it, and I don't sit and obsess about thoughts around my body or what I look like, because I've done a lot of emotional work, internal work, right? So that takes time. It takes some really good therapy, and that's part of the problem. I don't think enough professionals know how to get clients to a place where they're not distressed or they're not managing the eating disorder. But that's about the training for people. That's not about the disorder not being able to be overcome. They are seriously intense to overcome eating disorders, but you can do it permanently, Cecilia. I really want you to hear that. I want all of you to hear that, because I don't think our society gets that, because too few people get to that place. And that is the point of me starting this community with our team and also our membership hub, because I want enough people to be experiencing permanent recovery where they're no longer learning to manage, and they're no longer thinking that unless they look a certain way, that's the only time they're going to feel better, or learning to avoid foods forever, because you don't have to do that, okay? And it's a difficult one, because when you're in recovery, right, when you're still in that space, it doesn't feel like you'll ever get to a place where it won't be an issue. Believe me, I spent most of my time there. More than a third of my life was spent in the eating disorder and trying to get out of it, right? But where I am today, this is the thing. I know it takes intense work with a team of people that actually know how to get you there. That's one of the biggest things. A team that knows how to get you there. And that's why we've started this community, because I think that once we get all of the clients starting to understand, hold on, I can recover, and then we empower and train our professionals to know how to better support people getting out of an eating disorder, then I absolutely know that more people will be recovering permanently, right? So Cecilia, you're saying, I'm in therapy now. I went to therapy before. I feel shame for still feeling attachment to this after all these years. Thank you for the hope. I love to think I could really put this behind me. Please hold on to that, because I can tell you, and I went to therapy several different times, and what happened for me was when I actually went to study to become a therapist myself, I realized that the information I was being given by mainstream media, by majority of the therapists that I'd visited, what was actually keeping me stuck. And that's what I'm seriously focused on in these lives and in our eating disorder membership hub, the recovery hub. What we are doing is I am putting in videos, into programs, ways to give you the information that I know not everybody gets. It's almost like it's not given to the people that need to hear it in a way that, for example, people with eating disorders can understand. And I know that the people I'm mentoring and the people I work with absolutely always say, why isn't this common sense? Why isn't what you're saying the way everybody works with eating disorders? Well, that's the point. This is what I'm working on right now, because Cecilia, you deserve to know that you can recover permanently. So does everyone else watching this video, everyone on this page, everyone who isn't even on this page but is struggling with disordered eating deserves to know that they can be free of this permanently. Not managing this for the rest of your life. That's a crock of shit. I would not want to manage an eating disorder for the rest of my life, because to do that is too time consuming, too energy consuming. The other thing is, I would say, Cecilia, like most of the people struggling with eating disorders, you are brilliant in whatever way, shape or form the universe has given you to be brilliant, and we need you to be free of the eating disorder to embrace your brilliance. That's what we want. Every single person that struggles with an eating disorder to be free of it, to embrace their brilliance, whatever that is. And I think connection is the way we're going to do that. So connecting on these lives, connecting in our community, helping you to find connection and a way out of this eating disorder for good. And you say, I totally know how therapists who are not experts try to help and end up just dragging out the damage. Absolutely, I'm going to keep trying and keep going and not give up because I did that before. And you say, this is the first time back since 2012. Absolutely. And what we'll be doing in the coming months is we'll get better resources for people in our community on how to make the most out of your therapy, how to know whether you're on the right track, how to actually know if it's helpful, because I think I got seriously fucking angry when I realized that the therapist that I'd been seeing for a long time, when I kept saying to her, is this as good as it gets? She'd say, yes, Yvonne, that's it, you just need to manage it. And I kept going, no, this is it, not it. I'm not buying into this. And Prue, you say I was discharged from my ED team after I hit a healthy weight. I currently have no professional support at all. People only seem to want to help me when I'm at crisis point with my weight and beyond. Okay, that I absolutely get, and it's one of the biggest issues because it's almost like seeing people with eating disorders. The second that they get to, whether it's a normal weight for people with anorexia or there's a little bit of a stop in behaviors for the other disorders, then it's like, okay, you're done, you're out of here. That's quite a medical approach to recovery. And what I want to say is there are heaps of people, professionals, and we'll talk about that more in here, but not to give up on yourself or recovery when you actually get discharged, or when people or the professionals say, okay, you're done, we don't work with anyone unless they're in crisis point, because that's the fucking hardest time to work on your eating disorder. At that point, you're just trying to work out how to survive, right? You're not knowing how to do good therapy. At that point, you're not knowing how to actually get the support you really need. You're not able to actually reach out when you need to. So it's really shit that's what happens, that the intensity of support comes around someone when they're at crisis point. Crisis point hurts, right? You're not doing good therapy then. You're not able to do therapeutic healing work at that point. Prue, I would say at this point, what you want to try and do, if you can get some really good support, great. If you can't, stay on this community. Please keep joining our lives. I know lots of people are starting to join our membership hub, where we are talking real discussions, helping people to connect to themselves, to their real needs, where you can actually get a little bit of relief from feeling like you're the issue, because you're not. What often happens for people with eating disorders, they are not getting the right support, and that's what we want to help to provide. Okay, so I did call this live how do I lose weight, and how to, when I have an eating disorder, and I said, please don't ask me those questions, guys, because I really want to encourage you to go beyond focusing on your external world, because you're going to keep yourself stuck. You are seriously going to keep yourself in a place that is torturous. And what I know is there's a space for you to heal. Cecilia said, I get that, Prue. The second I gained weight through unhealthy binge eating, everyone stopped asking questions and it was like I disappeared. I know. It's an absolute fucking travesty. That's what it is. It is the worst to feel like you have to get worse before you get help. So if you can, keep connected to this community. Please do that, because I want you to know you don't need to get worse. I get how distressed you are, whether you are at a low weight or a higher weight. Either of those doesn't change the internal distress going on for someone that has an eating disorder. And that's the point, right? The point here is that I'm encouraging you to please go beyond focus on the external, focus on weight loss, because those questions, if you want to be asking those questions, I would say to you, I'm not the right person to be supporting you, because weight loss doesn't need to be your forefront focus. Healing does. Now, that we don't know what your body's going to do when you're recovered, but for the moment, if you stay focused on weight loss, I'm going to say to you that you're not yet ready to let go of this eating disorder, right? You are going to have that battle every single day, but you need to actually fight it. You need to go, I can hear that I want to lose weight, and that's the eating disorder part. But at the same time, I really want recovery. So I'm going to push for that. I'm going to start asking questions that are about how do I heal my internal world, rather than how do I lose weight or how do I get to normal eating. You will not get to normal eating when you have an eating disorder. We need to help you get recovery. We need to help you learn how to regulate your feelings, how to actually identify feelings, and to get out of your head so much, guys. That's what this is about. Right? So what I am saying is I am here to create a community with you that is focused on getting beyond the focus on food, getting to healing your internal world so that you can deal with whatever the hell comes your way in the external world, and that you are not going to need to manage this for the rest of your life. I know that not everybody believes that, but shit, wouldn't you rather be working with a community that believes permanent recovery is possible than one that believes this is your destiny for the rest of your life? Don't do it. Do not work with anyone that feels that you have to live with this for the rest of your life. You are ripping yourself off. And that's what I want you to know, that you can do more than what a lot of professionals will tell you, right? They may only know how to get you to a certain point. And that's one thing I got from my therapist. One of my therapists, she kept saying to me, Yvonne, this is as good as it gets. And I said, no, I'm not buying into it. The problem was I didn't know what I did need, right? I didn't know what kind of therapy. I didn't know how to connect with other people. I didn't know all that stuff. That's what I'm bringing my lives to you for. That is what I built this community for, what the Membership Hub is about. I am constantly talking about real stuff, getting you to recovery. Cecilia, you say, thank you so much for validating me. I'm always thinking about normal eating and daydreaming. I'll get to normal weight the normal way. I know what's best is focusing on healing first. Yeah, look, you know, I'm not saying it's easy to not sit there and allow your obsession with body, weight, and hating yourself and all of that to consume you. But what I'm saying is notice it for what it is. It is the eating disorder. It's usually a distraction. It's helping you get through life for some reason. And usually there's other things we need to work on, to heal, to process, and talk about perhaps, and work through them so that you don't get to sit there and just hate your body for the rest of your life. You were not, and I say nobody was born hating their body. Nobody was born thinking that they were defective. No one's born that way. We get to learn that as we grow up, unfortunately, and sometimes it's through neglect, through abuse, and sometimes it's from silence, from not getting validation, not getting, told that we're okay as we are, and there's lots of stuff happening around us. So Prue, you're saying, I feel like I'm focusing so much on eating properly that I can't focus on internal healing. Look, everyone that is at a different point in their recovery journey is going to, at some point, depending on what your disorder is, will focus on a little bit of medical stabilization. But the reality is you won't do eating properly unless something changes internally. So that's what I want you guys to understand, is that people get focused on how do I eat normally? And it's like there is so much change that needs to happen internally that the very fact that you focus on eating normally is the thing that will slow you down. So say that again. You have to work on internal stuff, right? Things like vulnerability, working through shame, working through past traumas, working through whatever has happened or whatever has manifested these eating disorders, working through that. It usually gets put on the back burner because we're so focused on trying to stabilize the symptoms, so focused on trying to eat normally, so focused on, if I just get to this weight. And what happens is you actually slow down your recovery process because your focus is on the wrong stuff. So if you can go, right, there's a bit of focus on what I'm eating and eating normally, but the other wheel, the emotional healing, that stuff needs to be going at the same time, guys, okay? It can't just be food focused, body focused, exercise focused. It has to shift. You have to start doing both things. And you've said, I don't even know what eating normal is. I can't imagine eating without thinking so much about it. You can't do that right now, guys. When you have an eating disorder, give up on trying to eat normal, okay? That is a concept that people have designed in order to help them feel like they are being able to help someone with an eating disorder, right? If you are focused on that with your therapist, I would be saying we need a deeper focus. It needs to be part of, a component of what you discuss, a component of what your focus is, but you won't know how to do that. Right? You won't know. And this is the thing, I think people give themselves a hard time because they think, I should be able to do it. No, you shouldn't, right? Because when you change your internal world, you will start to notice little shifts in your eating that you haven't even focused on, right? When, for example, you're able to say no to people, you may notice that you slowly don't binge as much, or you don't restrict as much as you think. You allow yourself to eat a little bit, right? But that only comes when you change things in relationships, right? So how do I communicate? How am I in other relationships? So focus on relationships, how you are in them, then the changes in food and how you eat will happen. I feel like I need to do a live on this, so I will do that tomorrow. I will focus specifically on when you focus on the changes in relationship, that you will get changes absolutely in how you do things with food. Cecilia said, I'm definitely going to try to bring this up with my therapist so it doesn't end up like last time. Awesome work. If that is what has happened out of this live, I am truly, truly happy that you are going to take something to your therapist and discuss it, because I think that that is one of the big challenges in recovery, is to go back to your therapist and discuss some of the stuff that goes on in your head. Most people just leave therapy. I did it time and time again and used to go, that didn't work, and try again. And I'd come up against the same shit, one therapist to the other. So you've said, focus on building better habits in conjunction with the core issues. Excellent work, Cecilia. So tomorrow I will be doing a live, and I will do that on relationships and eating disorders. What do relationships have to do with eating disorders, and why that working on that will give you a way bigger change than focusing on a meal plan or focusing on eating normal. Thank you guys for checking in with us. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Facebook, and that way you can see when I go live and join me. And if you're interested, check out the membership hub, so the Eating Disorder Recovery membership hub that we have going on, where I have lots of my own videos. I'm in forums chatting. It's a private space for you guys who feel like they can't discuss things here, and I am in there all the time, private messaging, talking to people, giving you the best tips on recovery and igniting hope that recovery, permanent recovery, is possible. Don't forget it, Cecilia. Thank you, Prue, for being in the conversation with me. I will speak to you all tomorrow. Bye.